Confident Woman brand group. Thank y'all so much. This is our weekly girls chat. Right now we don't have a forum for it. That might be changing. We'll have to see. But for right now, we don't have a forum. We just I like to say when girls come together and chat, we empower each other. And so that's what we're gonna do. I know some people like, don't call me a girl, call me a woman and all that. You know, I've got a couple of messages, but blah blah blah. We know we women. Don't need nobody to wave a flag around. Right. And redefine us as women. So how you doing today, Miss Carmen?
I am doing good, girl. Coming off of a busy week, a busy weekend. Just want to say hello to all of the good girlfriends that's joining in on this chat. And if you all can just do us a favor as you are on this live listening and sharing with us, if you can share to your personal social media pages on Facebook, IG, Snapchat, wherever you go at, just go on, share this conversation so we can help some other sisters that may need to hear something we have to say.
Yes, that's good, Carmen. Let's share. I always forget that. That's why I love having Carmen on the show. But she always remember, because sometimes I'm just so focused on, okay, what we're talking about, stay focused, you know. So thank you so much.
I got you, girl. I got you.
Now, we're excited to be back today. This is part 2 of Friendships and Confrontations because we got such an overwhelming response with the first one, and we definitely didn't get to get everything that we wanted to say into the girls' chat. So we wanted to come back because there's definitely still some things that needs to be said when you talk about friendships. That's one of the main areas that I think women deal with is like friendships, you know, want to know who got your back, you know, you want to make sure that people around you are really got your back, you know. Absolutely. So when we left, do you remember when we left off at, Carmen?
We left off we did so much in that conversation, like we really because it, like I stated in one of my Facebook posts, the response was so overwhelming. I even had people like messaging me on Facebook that I didn't even know and was saying how, you know, that they really enjoyed the conversation and how they were blessed by the things that they were saying. So I knew definitely we would have to come back on and do a part 2. A couple of things, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to get it all in within the hour. We left off with we didn't get a chance to cover respect. We didn't get a chance to cover loyalty. We didn't get a chance to cover honesty. And one thing that I thought about as I was meditating all week about the girls' chat, we didn't get a chance to talk about protection. And that's really protection of your heart, your feelings, your mind, your spirit, most importantly, because everything, whether you want to believe it or not, for these days and times, is really spirituality. So you've got to protect your spirit and be mindful of who you let in as a friend.
You absolutely do, Carmen. And I'll tell you, like I'm like you, I got the same response, and they were just like, you know, you and Carmen really flow well together. Like you really talked on some subjects that women don't talk about a lot. So I was like, wow, well, you know, thank you. Like I appreciate that feedback because you definitely want to know that, you know, it was impactful, that you did make a difference. So I'm gonna open us up with this, and then we're gonna get started. We're gonna flow right on. But I kind of took a couple of little notes down that I want to just read for a second. And I wrote down, you know, friendships are going to be tested. That's the first thing you need to understand when you're dealing with friendships. Every relationship, love is going to be tested. And then I wrote that true friendships will always survive the test. Okay. Yes. And then I want to talk about signs of a troubled friendship and a toxic friendship, because those are 2 different friendships. Okay. Yes. A toxic friendship has the power to influence you in a negative way, leaving a negative impact on you, encouraging you to engage in things that have the potential to destroy your life. Okay. That's a toxic friendship.
Yes.
Okay? Toxic friendships are often draining. Toxic friendships will pull every ounce of energy, peace, joy, courage, faith, and strength out of you. Absolutely. The word toxic within itself means poisonous. And I wanted to make sure we know the difference. Now, when you're talking about a troubled friendship You notice when there's trouble, when there starts being avoidance, disrespect, disregard for your feelings and opinions, constant disagreements. That's a sign that something is off in the friendship, and a conversation or distance or time apart is needed.
Yeah.
So I wanted to open us up with that. And my last statement is you have to decide the kind of life you want, then decide who gets to be a part of that process. And that's how you choose your friends.
Yes.
I thought some good notes. That's when you got to spend time with God.
That
was
really good. That was really
down.
Good. I was trying to make sure I processed that and took all that in because, you know, I want to piggyback off of that. I told you earlier, I've been having some problems with retaining some information lately. So I had to just kind of wander off to make sure I got all that in, girl.
Look, I forgot you did tell me that. I ain't mean to throw it on you too hard. I just wanted to open us up to make sure we get it in. They're going to lose us because the housewives coming on night. They're going to be like, we got to go. So I wanted to just open us up hard. So, you know, but you got it. So go ahead, Ms. Carmen.
Well, the first thing I want to piggyback on and remind people that we discussed in the first conversation what friendships are. And I made the statement that friendships are divine connections. When you meet someone and you have the privilege of someone calling you a friend, or you found someone that you can call a friend, you just have to know that's a divine connection, number one. When you spoke about a troubled friendship or a toxic friendship, one of the things that we have to realize is a real friend, a true friend, you know, you can have disagreements, you can have falling outs, but we have to be mindful that a true friend, a real friend, you can have those type of situations where you don't agree, where, you know, there's some time that some space needs to happen between the two of you, but it should never be a situation where you're never going to speak again. That's not the sign of a true friend. So we first need to make sure that we are understanding that. Like if you have a friend that you can't have a disagreement with, that of course there's going to be some type of miscommunications. If that friend doesn't have the respect, which we didn't get a chance to talk about, to understand that the two of you will not always agree, you fall out and you're never speaking to that friend again, just know that that's not a true friend. A true friend can come back and be like, you know what? I'm sorry. I didn't look at it that way. We're just going to choose to agree to disagree, and we're going to move on like nothing ever happened. Most times in troubled friendships and also in toxic friendships, the person on the receiving end of the hurt deals with the most trauma. And then that person tends to feel like the trauma, the disagreement, or the breakup of the friendship was their fault. And so I want people to understand that the trauma is not your fault. Sometimes it can be both parties. Sometimes it could just be the other party. But most importantly, what I want you to pull from that is the trauma of it all is not your fault. Don't fall into the blame game of blaming yourself or falling into the guilt trip, because I was one to always do that too. If I had a disagreement with a friend, or, you know, I've had a friend that we never spoke again, and, you know, I was just blaming everything on me. I took on the hurt, I took on the guilt, and that trauma is not your fault. You know, it's just a sign that maybe that friendship wasn't supposed to be anyway. But what is your responsibility is the healing part. And so when there's trauma, then there's also healing. And that is your responsibility. That's the part that you can control. That's the part that you can take on. And that's the part that's the first step from a troubled or toxic friendship.
That's good, Carmen. That's really, you are so right about that. I think sometimes we do blame ourselves, you know, when things don't go right. It's hard, you know, and it's when you deal with friends, especially when, and I had this conversation with my friends, because you have to realize you're two different people, and sometimes your personalities are going to clash.
Absolutely.
But I always say, you know, just like you, if it should never be to the point where we're never speaking again. Correct. And I brought this up with my friends this week because I just wanted to kind of talk about, some of the things we had been through, because I have one friend that I'm like really close to now, but we went through a season where we like fell out. And I was like, I'm never going to speak to you again. But I look at my life now and I say, well, how would my life be if she wasn't in my life? Because she was a good friend, but our personalities clash. And so I came up with this thing. It just kind of hit me like every friendship might have a different formula. I felt like with our friendship that we were good friends and everything, but I noticed when we hang out too much, our personalities clash too much.
Yeah.
So I didn't get that until now, because that was 20 years ago. But now I feel like every friendship's formula is different. Yeah. For she and I, we can't hang out a lot, but we can still build with each other, grow from each other, and sharpen each other. Yes. But we can't hang out a lot. And so some of my friends was like, well, I don't agree with that. Because I feel like if you have a friend, you should be able to hang out with them all the time. I'm telling you, it's a formula. You cannot be the same with every friend. People don't believe that, because one of my friends is like, well, I feel like that's being fake. It's not. I might can tell you, Carmen.
I totally agree with that.
I might can tell you, Carmen, you need to get your stuff together. And I might can come at you hard like that. But with another friend, I might have to come at you and say, listen, let's talk about it. Let's hold on, because that friend is sensitive. See, a lot of people don't get that. And that's why your friendships are falling apart. Yeah. People are different. So we're different. So you have to treat them accordingly. Like, if you get that is a rich nugget right there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've had to talk to my friends. You know how they vent? Some of my friends, I can talk back and say, hold on. And then with other friends, I have to just sit there and don't say nothing.
Absolutely.
You have to find your formula with each friend.
Absolutely. Actually, it's so funny that you mentioned that, because I was with my best friend on yesterday at a birthday party, and it was so funny. We were sharing something about the last girls chat that we did, and she was like, Denise was like, oh, Auntie Carmen was talking about you all through that chat, and we were laughing about it, but she made a great point where she said, no, my friends, they're able to come and tell me what they need to tell me. We talk about it and we move on. It's not a constant conversation. We don't have to bring it up again. Right. It doesn't have to be like another conversation behind somebody's back, because my best friend, Christina, I could go at her, like you said, and be like, you know what, get it together right now. Take it down off of Facebook. You're doing too much. Yes. And she's going to laugh it off. She's going to do what I done at, and we're going to move on. But then I have, some friends that, you got to kind of like be on eggshells of what you say, because of the sensitivity, and they're not able to really accept constructive criticism well, even though that
you care about them, and you care,
even though you're trying to give it to them in a way that it's loving and in their best interests. Sometimes people just cannot take being critiqued. I know with me personally, as an individual, I come with a lot. I'm very flamboyant. I'm very outspoken. And sometimes, like when I'm with my crew that I could be comfortable with, I'm laid back in the life of the party. But, sometimes, like you said, like with friends, you have that balance. Some friends I can't let my hair down with, because, everybody has mad days. Right. Unfortunately, no matter how good of a friend you may be to someone, everyone has their mad day. And so sometimes when you show that side of you that you're thinking that you're letting that most intimate side be visible to a friend, you never know when you're going to be in a position where that friend may use that against you. Right. And so there are certain steps, there are certain precautions that you have to take within these relationships with friends. Right. And it's not being fake, it's not being disloyal. You, again, like we opened up with, you have to, when we talked about protection, it's all about protecting first your spirit, your spirit, man, your peace, and just you, period, as a whole. You have to protect you. It's not saying that you don't love your friend, but since we're on this topic of friendship and confrontations, unfortunately in friendships, these things happen. So you have to talk while. You have to address it, and you have to put up some type of mode of protection to make sure that, one, you're protecting you.
That's it. You have to, and just like I was saying, like, you know, signs of when you know that there's the friendship is trouble. I think we have to have the courage to speak on those things. And I know, me personally, I have been in situations where I knew I needed to say something at the first sign of disrespect, and you know, I was like, well, you know, I'm gonna brush it off. You know, it's nothing. But just like the first disrespect came, the second one came. And then the third one, and then it was like, it's miserable at this table. And I did recently a spontaneous girls chat, I think like a couple of Mondays ago, and I talked about how to know when it's time to get up from the table. Now, these things that we're telling you, these are things that you put in place for lifetime friends.
Yeah.
We're not talking about seasonal friends like that, because sometimes that little confusion comes because it's time for you to get up from that table. Correct. And you haven't had the courage to do that. You know, sometimes God brings people in your life for a season, and we call them friends. And maybe they friends at that moment, but then it's time to go. So you have to have that courage when that disrespect is there, and they're not honoring you, disrespecting you, being rude, disregarding your feelings, your opinions, cracking jokes that you know they know you're sensitive about. Absolutely. And you spoke on that, and they still do it. Humiliation. Your true friends not gonna humiliate you. Now, we all joke around, but they know, don't go below that belt. See, when you can't, it goes back to being good people. When you're a good people, you can be a good person. You can be a good friend. But if you're a bad person, they're not going to be no good friend.
Absolutely. And, you know, you got to train your mind to be stronger than your emotions sometimes in friendships, because if you don't, you will lose yourself within that friendship. And then, like you said, with these individuals, you know, you have your lifetime friends, and then you have your seasonal friends that's just there for that moment to get you to where you need to be. You know, and I was sharing with you offline prior to us coming off air. We were celebrating our church anniversary this week, and we had a guest pastor that came in, Pastor Pettis, and there were some things that he touched upon, which was confirmation for our conversation on today. And sometimes when we're dealing with troubled and toxic friendships, and we feel like that we're all left alone, like, you know, everybody done turned their backs on us. We thought we had these set of friends, and we don't have them now, and so like we're feeling, you know, in the corner by ourselves. And there was a valid point that he made where he said that we have to, and that's why I made the statement about you have to train your mind to be stronger than your emotions, because we always feel like we're alone, we're by ourselves. And the statement that he made was, we tend to think that being isolated is some type of correction or consequence because we have done something wrong. When all along, isolation is just setting you up for the confirmation, because God sometimes can't get you the things that you need, put you where you need to be if you over there with them. So he got to move you from being over there with them, these people that you thinking were in your corner or thinking that were your friends. They're not your friends, and you're not going to move on your own. So he has to do something to make you or force you to move. So sometimes when these things happen within your friendships, like I was saying before, the trauma is not you. So don't blame you.
Yes.
God moving you from over there to put you right here in this corner by yourself, because maybe you was trying to be up for a promotion, and that promotion on your job, you can't be distracted over there with them. You dealing with why she mad every 5 minutes because you done said something, and you was not trying to say something to hurt her. But then that's another argument. That's another distraction that you got going on. But you're praying for this promotion. You can't do that. You can't balance both of that, because you got to be focused on what you're praying for God to give to you. So you got to come from over there and come sit over here by yourself for a little while. Be isolated, because God working on you to bring you to somewhere that you've been praying to be. And I struggled with that for some time. For some time, I spoke about that in our first round of the girls chat. You know, went through some things with some friends, and they stopped talking, and we didn't have a relationship, and I was really hurt by that. That was a heartbreak for me. It was almost like you were breaking up with someone that you were dating, because you have been around these people for so long. You have cried to them, they have cried to you, you have poured in your all to them, and then this happens where they just totally shut you out. I was isolated, I felt alone, and I dealt with that for like an entire year. But I now know that my isolation was to grow me up, mature me, because sometimes within yourself you can feel as though you got it going on, like you got the grandest crew in the world. Baby, my crew is the bomb. If I call them, I know that they coming. You can't tell me nothing about my friends, and all the time they ain't even what you thinking is cracked up to be.
Come on now.
So your world shatters literally, because you done set yourself up here, but God had to knock you all the way down here to let you know, no, that's not what was happening. So I had to show you, because you were so far up here, you wasn't even trying to see what I was showing you. You wasn't even trying to see that you were setting yourself up for failure. So I got to bring you over here by yourself, let you go through your heartbreak, let you go through your ordeal, so I can grow you up. And that's what I share. That's my personal testimony that I share with people all the time. I grew up in 2018. I thought I had it going on, and apparently I didn't. But now I'm to a point where I'm more mature with my relationships with who I now can call a friend, who I can depend on, how to handle situations, and everything does not need to be designated with an answer. I've gotten real good with walking away. And I've also gotten real good with the word no, because I found out that the word no is a necessary blessing, because what no does, no draws a circle of protection around you, and it gives an unspoken answer to tell people that I've given you enough, and I've kind of like had enough of this friendship that I thought was something that's really not anything and is not beneficial to me. So I'm gonna go on, walk away. No, we cannot hang out. No, you cannot be in my space. No, I'm not going to give you any more of me.
And that's right, Carmen. You said I love everything that you said. No is not a curse word. It's not a curse word. It's a boundary. Yeah. That's what no is. No is a boundary. And I love everything that you said, Carmen, because I definitely have been in a situation too, with a best friend for 10, 15 years. And all of a sudden it just seemed like out of nowhere, we're not clicking anymore. It don't feel right anymore. Your gut is like, something is off. And then have the friendships that just fall apart. Yeah. And I'm like, well, God, what is that? What is that? Absolutely. And I didn't get it at the time. And he just told me, you have to propel forward. And I'm like, well, why do my friends have to change? What that have to do with me? That's the thing we don't understand. When you get around the right mindset people, that's what changes your life. Because after that friendship ended, I was now, cautiously walking forward. And just like Carmen said, just feeling so alone, so hurt, so broken. And it's hard when you've been there for your friends, just like Carmen said, emotionally, financially, spiritually, and you're thinking, wow, this is really my friend. And oftentimes it's at that point when God showed you, okay, this is nice, but I need to, if you're not growing together, God gotta move forward.
That's it right there.
You're trying to he's trying to get you to see everything that he put in you. And sometimes when you're around the familiar people and y'all just hanging out doing the basics, this and that, it wasn't until after that friendship that I moved forward to discover, you can be a confidence, like a personal development coach. And I didn't see that at the time, because your friends only see you sometimes for who you are and not who you're becoming. And that's the thing. You have to get around people that can, well, you're not the smartest one in the room. They can pull you forward with you see them over there. It kind of opens your mind up to say, okay, now it's like you're going to hunt. Like you're on a hunt. Well, now I need some new friends. And then you come into a whole set of brilliant, amazing, over the top, out here dominating women. And it gives you that it inspires you to want to climb even higher. When you were cool, sitting at the park on the ground. And then you kind of go, on the mountain, it's real cool up here. But see, before you wasn't thinking about the mountain because you was cool on the ground, you see? So the shift has to happen. And that's what I talked about. You know, get up from the table. You have to get up. You have to get up. And let me tell you, when you don't get up when you're supposed to, they're going to snatch the chair from under you. And you're going to get up anyway. But this time, you're going to fall on the ground. So you need to get up when you can control how you're going to get up. And by why? Gracefully. But when you don't do that in the chair snatch, now you're in your feelings. You hurt when you knew all along the disrespect was there, the dishonor was there, the abuse was there, the backstabbing was there. But we just hold on like little puppies. Like, just throw me anything. Just give me some attention. That's a problem.
Yeah. See, familiarity brings on disrespect. When people get too familiar with you, then that's an open invitation for them to keep disrespecting you. And one thing that I've learned throughout this entire process of being hurt with friends, you know, like you just said, we for some reason our heart just doesn't want to let it go. But what I've learned is that, you know, sometimes it's better just to let things be. You don't have to fight for closure, because that was another thing I was dealing with too. Like, you're going to have to tell me why you stopped talking to me. You're going to have to tell me why you stopped.
Yes.
You have to tell me why you felt this way, because you should know I'm your girl. I'm your friend. Like, why would you feel that I would do this to you? And then, you know, sometimes you just can't keep fighting for closure, and you don't have to ask or give an explanation. Like my good girlfriend T. Renee said, you don't need no receipts. You don't have to give no receipts.
Wasn't that good? Wasn't that good?
I've been using this shit since she said it. I'm waiting for her to make the T-shirt, girl. Send me the T-shirt.
Girl, yes.
You don't have to give no explanation. You don't have to fight for closure, and you don't need to chase answers. I was speaking with my mother is deceased, but Mother Allen, who I've like clung to and just like literally grabbed her and said, "Okay, you just gonna be my mama now." You know, I was talking to her, and you know, I was telling her, you know, I was calling so and so, and I keep calling them, and I'm trying to set up, you know, some time where we can go and sit down and talk, so you know they can tell me, you know, what was going on, what did I do, whatever. Don't do that. Anybody out there that's listening, do not keep chasing for answers, because if they wanted to repair anything, if they wanted to have a conversation, you would not have to keep calling. You would not have to run them down. They will be calling you. They will be just as much calling you as you're calling them. So you don't expect people to understand where you were coming from. Because that's your understanding. They have their understanding, you have your understanding. So don't expect people to understand where you're coming from. You all the while can be coming from a good place. But sometimes people don't understand that, and they don't want to understand it. And you cannot move on until you accept this. You know, you will not receive closure in every situation, but you can create it for yourself. Have a personal conversation with yourself. Hey, I love this person. This was not the intent. Unfortunately, I could not get to them to speak to them and let them know this is where I was coming from. Lord, you know, point blank, period. Now, I done closed the chapter for myself. I don't even need to speak with you. I've moved on. And when I see you, I see you. And, you know, when I don't, I don't. Because most of the times in toxic friendships, what people do for you is about them. It's about the fame, or for them saying, oh, you know, I did that for her, or, you know, I bought that for her, or, you know, I was there for her. Girl, when she was going through, she was just calling me, and I was the one there. They do it for them. I don't need any friend of mine doing something for them just so that they can get the clout or be able to brag about what they did for me. That's not friendship.
I put this thing on Facebook too, Carmen, not so long ago, and I said, don't give me the shirt off your back if you're going to go tell the world you gave it to me. Keep that shirt, baby. Just keep that shirt. Let me be cold, and you go on do your thing.
Absolutely.
But you speaking good. You talking good. I just had to plug that in there and let you know that I was feeling that.
You know, because some people's actions can't be explained. You know, you can't explain, you know, your friends, or the word I like to use, your frenemies. You know, you can't explain what their actions are. And, you know, some people won't apologize to you to the hurt that they've caused you because they can't, because the hurt that they did you was intentional. So they're not going to apologize for something that, deep down inside, they've been wanting to do anyway. They just found the appropriate time for them to stick it to you.
That's it.
So, you just got to move on. You cannot change people. No matter how much you think you can change them, people change themselves. And everyone wants the title of a friend, but they don't want to, they can't take the warfare, because I'm going to share this with you. I'm very vocal with my church. I'm very active with my church, and sometimes, some of my friends, like they'll say, oh, we got something going on, and it's on this Saturday. Well, I already done told y'all Wednesdays and Saturdays, that's like my little day. I can't do nothing. I can't hang out. If I'm hanging out on a Saturday, I can't be in my position where I need to be at on a Sunday. It's sometimes attitudes, or no, you don't have to go this day. All you do is go to church. You can't have the title of being my friend if you can't warfare with me, because right now, sometimes I may be going through something spiritual that I need you to pray with me for, that I need you to war in the spirit with me with. And if you have the mindset telling me I go to church too much, or I don't need to go that Sunday, then you ain't going to be able to warfare with me.
That's it, girl. Come on now.
About passing out these titles of friendships when people can't be there and fight for you or fight with you when you need them to.
That's right. That's right. And I don't know if y'all saw my post earlier too, because on Facebook I put, and in the group too, friends always want the best for you, even when they're mad. Even when they're mad. And so just like Carmen is saying, like, let me tell you another conversation that I had with my friend that's piggybacking right off of what Carmen is saying. Sometimes we misunderstand their intentions, because you can have a person that can do a lot of nice things for you, and you might say, well, this person really helped me when I was down. This is my friend. But what you also have to consider is, see, sometimes it's in their nature to help people. They're helpers. Absolutely. So they're really just doing them. They're doing what comes natural to them. Because if they can leave your house and do just what Carmen said, get on the phone and call 500 people, she always going through something. She don't never do nothing with her kids. Her house always nasty. See, that's not a friend. That's a person that did a friendly thing for you, but that's not your friend. That's what she's saying. That's the difference, because your friend will say, listen, even if it's something with you, friend, let's get it together. I'm going to help you, friend. And when they leave their conversation is with God. They finna talk to God. Say, God, you have to help her. They're not finna get on the phone. We got to stop misinterpreting that. And I did that a lot, because let me tell you why. When you don't interpret it right, it makes it harder for you to walk away, because you hold on to that thing that they did for you.
Absolutely.
And then you say, well, no, your mind goes, well, no, they are a good friend, because, she was the only one who did A, B, C, and D, but she did that because she's a natural helper. It's just in her to help people.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You got to just really think about that. And like I said, get up from the table. When it's time to get up, you just have to get up. All things considered, if they don't apologize, get up for you and make a decision that I want the best out of my life. This is not the best situation. I don't feel like you empower me. I don't feel like you pull me forward. I feel like, and I can't stand that friend that always throw it in your face, friend. That irritates me more than anything. Well, I thought you said you was going to do such. Well, I thought you said, I don't like that. I don't know why that bothers me, because I feel like, like if you really want to help me, now look, girl, now you got goals. See, that's what my friend does to me. She's like, what you doing? Are you writing over there today? You got goals. You got to get ready to go meet Tyler Perry. What you doing? You sitting around watching Netflix? I think you're doing too much. I love that. Yes. I don't get offended by it, because that tells me that she recognizes the greatness in me. And I want to say that to you. Don't stay at a table full of people that are great because you feel like what I'm going to do here, because you're valuable too. That's the thing. You look up to them because they're valuable, but you're valuable too. And that's why like a person of excellence and value, like we have our fine crystals that we take care of, you kindly package yourself up and you remove so that they can no longer do damage to you.
Correct.
Emotions. But
correct.
You got to see yourself as valuable. You bring something to that table. And when
Absolutely.
that is stopped being appreciated and honored, you package your gifts up. You say, thank you for letting me serve here, or thank you for serving me. But me and my gifts and my uniqueness and my valuableness, we got to roll out.
Yes.
That's why I'm at with it.
I love the fact that you said, you know, you had a friend that was like texting you and saying, you know, what you doing? Are you writing over there? You doing it? And I always use this example with my bestie Bernetta. She started a t-shirt line. Well, she came and she said, you know, I'm thinking about starting a t-shirt line. You know, I want to do it, but every time I try and do it, I get knocked back down. And I could remember the conversation so vividly because I was preparing to go to work. It was one early morning and I was running behind, and she was texting me and I was reading the text messages and just trying to get together. But then when the text message came in and she was like, you know, every time I try and do it and move forward, you know, I get knocked 10 steps behind. I was like, you know, this is the point I want to make before I finish that story. Because I made a statement where I said, you know, you have to be careful about who you give the title to as a friend, because that friend in some situations are going to have to warfare for you. And in that instant, I knew then I needed to stop what I was doing and pour into her, because that was her moment of need for encouragement, for me to boost her and pour back into her and let her know, no, you're not about to feel like you can't move forward. We about to move forward today. And this is what we're going to do. And I sent her like about 5 things. I need you to figure out a name of the t-shirt line. By the time I get to work, we're going to go online. We're going to register your business with the state. We're about to put some logos together and get this started. I know somebody who can do you a logo. Like, we about to do this. And every week she can tell you, I need you to go on social media and get 25 people to come and like your page. I need you to do X, Y, and Z. Like, I had a girlfriend who said she wanted to start blogging. Go on social media, type in bloggers, this, that, and third. Every time I see something that come across, I was tagging her. Here you go. You need to start following this position. You need to start following this person. I need a group of women. And I have this little saying that all my girlfriends know. And this little love saying to them is like, keep going. I'm bucking them up. Keep doing it. Keep moving with life, because life can literally beat you down. So when you hear me saying, hey, I want you to know, keep moving, keep pushing. You can be at home crying your tears out, but I want to be able to be that friend when you crying or when you going through. You hear me in the background. Hey, yes, come on, you got it. Let's go, friend. Let's go. That's the type of people that I want around me, and that's the type of person and friend that I want to be to my friends. And so when people that are not like-minded like you and not on the same page with you, when people don't move like you do, your ambition and your goal setting to them can sound like arrogance, because one, they don't have any goals. They're not bothered about going anywhere. So when you're telling them your goals and your plans, and because they're not like-minded, they're going to automatically appear that you're thinking you're too much. You're thinking you know it all.
Who she thinks she
is.
That's it. That's
who she thinks she is. She ain't gonna never win. She ain't gonna never make it. She ain't gonna never come up. You got to be careful who you give a title to as a friend, because
don't tell them you about to write a book.
In a position to go to that friend and tell them anything that you need to tell them. And the first thing they need to be, let's pray on it. We about to pray on it. We about to seal this. We about to give it to God, and then we about to move on it. And then if that friend is not helping you execute that plan in whatever way. And then another thing is I want to jump on that is because so many times we put pressure on our friends and we make them think that they have to do something so big and great to prove their friendship. A prayer is all you need, honey, in these days and time for a friend to move you wherever you need to go. If you just say a prayer for me, you done enough. I don't need you to
jump through hoops
and get a billboard to prove my friend. It's not
That
necessary.
is so good, Carmen. You're right. We got to stop putting these demands on our friends, especially when they have families and children at home. You know, they may not have time to call you every day and be your therapist and all of that. Like, give each other time, you know, and it's good when you have a friend that you can carry in your spirit. Like, when you have that kind of friend, you can sense when things are off with them. And you know, I've had that with setting our call, like, what's going on with you? And they like, you always call me at this time. You know, that's the kind of friendship that I love and that I cherish it, because it takes it to another level. Because that's why I don't call everybody my friend. Because when I'm your friend, you're in my spirit. And I'm like, hold up, God, something's troubled here. What's going on? And he might say, call and pray. He might say, send us some flowers. He might say, go help her clean her house, get her kids for the weekend. You see?
Absolutely.
And you're deserving of that kind of friend. You're deserving of it.
You know, and I have so many good girlfriends around me. You know, I can we have 2 or 3 different novels of our little shenanigans that we do, you know. And my girlfriend Trish, you know, she was going through some things, you know, and I won't, you know, say, you know, everything she was going through, you know, medically, because, you know, that's something personal. But I just wanted to share this because, you know, I just wanted to show people who you should have around you. So when she was sharing some things with me, you know, first of all, why didn't you tell me? That's number one. So it was almost like a boom, 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 boom. Why you didn't tell me? I would have been there. I would have came. Then she responded, well, can I answer now? Yes, you can answer now. But I just wanted to get all that out. You know what? Why you didn't tell me? Well, I could have been there for you. But then I instantly prayed right there through the text. Instantly said a prayer like, it's going to be all right. You're going to come through. You're going to have the victory. That morning, I couldn't be there physically, but I sent the prayer. I was calling mama, like, what's going on? Where is she? You have to be able to learn to step in. And if nobody else takes anything away from this live chat, your friend needs to be able to step in and war with you with whatever situation is going on. Because sometimes when you are going through things, you don't have the energy, you don't have the power, you don't have the strength to war for yourself. So therefore, you got to be surrounded with people that's able to go to bat for you in the spirit.
Like the paralyzed man we were talking about. Like the paralyzed guy, before we kind of came live, we were talking about in the Bible the story with the man that was paralyzed and how his friends picked him up. And not only did they take him where Jesus was, they climbed on the roof. Like, they were willing to go. Like, I know that man, you know, no matter how much he weighed, I know that's like dead weight there. And like, we're going to get you there. And like, that's I think Jesus, the Bible has that because it's an example to us. Like, this is what you need. Like, we'll get you. Friendship should come with a tag. We'll get you there. Like, we're going to get you there. And we should be that for each other. Let me pull you forward. I'm good with business. I see my friend, just like you said with your friend with the t-shirts. Hey, we're not sitting on this idea next year. What we doing? And it's the same reciprocated. Hey, what are you doing? Are you writing? You got any books coming out? What you doing? Tyler Perry waiting on you. People waiting, you know. And it just like they really believed me when I said I'm gonna work with Tyler Perry. Like they like, what you mean? You going to work with Tyler Perry? You know. So,
speak it, girl. Bring me with you, girl. Bring me with you.
Come on, girl. I hope that y'all really, you know, are just hearing our hearts about this. Because listen, we're gonna close. I'm gonna close, and I'm gonna let Carmen close. But friendship sometimes can be hard. We love, you know, as friends, when you have somebody and you think y'all got that thing, and then, you know, you start seeing character flaws, and then things are not the same. It hurts. You know, we don't want to make light of that because it hurts. Just like Carmen said earlier, it doesn't feel good. It can make you feel rejected, abandoned. It can make you feel like you're not enough. But just trust God that he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing with that. He's the orchestrator. And down the line, you move on, you have some amazing people for you to meet. I've met so many amazing people. I've met Carmen, and look, me and Carmen connected on social media, but sometimes you think you can't do things because you're used to running over here in this circle, and God just trying to open you up a little bit to just another circle so you can do more. And he just have so many amazing people. So if that's you, you know, tonight and you have been hurt, my friend, just know that God says that he will heal those wounds, and just
Absolutely.
lay those things before God. Let him heal you, because it does hurt. I had a wound and God healed me of that wound, because I just stood on the word that said, I will heal you of that wound. And before I knew it, that thing didn't even hurt no more. So it's one
Absolutely.
thing to be hurt, but like for it to be a wound, when it's that's a different thing. You got to nurture that. You got to clean out that infection and clean out everything they did. So one of the things you do, you stop talking about them. Don't say nothing else about them. Wish them well. Every time it comes to your heart and mind, you say, God bless them, God bless their family, God bless their ministry. That is
Yep.
something that I had to do, and I had to do it like clockwork every time it came. But did you see what such did to me? Nope. God bless them, God bless their family. And I had to keep saying it until the thoughts stopped coming. Because just like the Bible said, cast down those thoughts and imaginations. That's where that work comes in at. And it's hard. Like Carmen said, you may not get that apology that they owe you or whatever, or maybe they stabbed you in your back or did whatever, but you got to get you together. You got to work on you, because you can't, that's gone. That's gone. The door's closed. So stop, go standing at the door, waiting and praying that they open it back up so you can go back to what God delivered you from. So
Absolutely.
that's what I want to say in closing. Like, it hurts. Let God heal you of that wound. Let God love on you, love on yourself, and know that you're valuable. You are worthy of love, and God will put some amazing friends in your life. So that's my closing.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Carmen.
I just want to piggyback on what you said in my closing, in my closing thoughts as well, because if you never heal from what hurt you, you're gonna bleed on people that didn't even cut you. And I say this because it's all by experience. I'm not sharing anything that I think I know about. I'm sharing you from experiences that I know that has happened to me with being hurt. I was bleeding on my other friends that didn't even cut me. Just like in my mind thinking that they were going to be out to get me as well, that they were going to leave me as well. So I was turning my friendships that were perfectly fine into troubling friendships because I had never healed from those friendships that hurt me. Heal from what hurt you, because you're going to bleed on people that didn't do anything to you and is not intending anything to do anything to you. And then I wrote something down as well that I want to share to everyone. When you are chosen to survive, you are able to sail on what other people thought would sink you. In those friendships, they may have thought that you wasn't going to go far without them. And you probably have done much more not being with them now that you were doing when you were with them. So don't allow anybody to sink your ship. You sail on and you move forward. You move forward with healing. And lastly, I want to say, forgive you. Forgive yourself for not seeing through them. Forgive yourself for thinking that their friendship was genuine. Forgive yourself for being there for them. Sometimes we replay this in our mind. Well, Lord, I was there for them. I did this. I did that. I watched their children. I took them in. You were supposed to do all that. You were the friend that you were supposed to be. So forgive yourself. You should not fault yourself for doing any of that. That's what you were supposed to do. That's what you was intended to do for them, because God hands out the blessings. Man don't hand out anything for you. So what you did from your heart. So forgive yourself for being there for them. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know until you lived through it. Experience is a good teacher. You can't get any experience unless you go through what you need to go through. So you forgive yourself for not knowing that this was going to happen. No one would have never known. We don't go through life knowing when someone will hurt us and will not hurt us. That's so right. Forgive yourself that you didn't know that this was going to happen. You wasn't going to know it until you went through it anyway. So you need to just trust your journey. I always say this every time we're on this girl chat, because I had to do it. Again, this is my testimony. Trust your journey, honor your path, learn, grow, evolve, become, like Tanisha said, and more importantly, heal. And this is the last thing I'm going to leave you with. You did what you did. And this is something that you may have to say in the mirror, and I'm going to try and get it right, because I had to say it a couple of times when I was going through it, because When I couldn't get in touch with those friends that I was trying to repair the relationship with, you know, I just had to imagine talking to them so I can get it out of my system. And for anybody that's going through a friendship that hurt them really bad and you didn't have the opportunity for closure or to speak to them, you go get in one of your mirrors in your home and you tell that mirror and you imagine that you are talking to that friend. And after you say that, that's the chapter is closed. You're going to be able to move on tonight from that. You did what you did. I felt how I felt. Now we are where we are, and it is what it is.
I love it.
And that's it.
I love
That is it.
I think Carmen need to put that in the comments after we're done. I need to write that down myself. That was good, Carmen. I hope y'all enjoyed this girl chat, honey, because this was fire tonight. Some of us, you know, just need to be delivered from that. And some of you need to be restored back to that place of knowing that you're valuable. And that's just my prayer for you tonight, that God will heal you everywhere you hurt and that you come to know that you are valuable. No matter who has mishandled you, mistreated you, you are precious to God. You are God's masterpiece. He loves you. Lay those wounds before him, and I'm telling you, God will fill your life with some amazing people, and you'll be to forgot all about them, what they did, how they did it, and why they did it. So we hope that we blessed y'all tonight. Drop us some feedback in those comments. Yes. Let us know what y'all thought about the show. We have one more girls chat left in this year, ladies, and then we're gonna come back in 2020. We're gonna revamp some stuff. I'm gonna hold some surprises and tell y'all about some things later. But thank y'all so much. We appreciate y'all. I want to encourage you to tune in on the 17th. I'm doing something real special with my friends. I asked them all to write love letters to themselves. And so we're going to come on and we're going to share our love letters because you need to love on yourself. So that's going to be real exciting. I'm going to give y'all an opportunity that if you want to write a love letter to yourself, I'm going to let you join us. I'm going to chime you in on the chat. So if that's you, drop your name and stuff in the comments. And I'm going to let you come on and read your love letter to yourself. See, some of y'all don't feel comfortable doing it because y'all love yourself. But we're not going to go there tonight. I'm going to let y'all go because Housewives getting ready to come on. And y'all ain't finna be doing me and Carmen like that. So thank y'all so much. Thank you again, Carmen. As always, a pleasure to have you on. And we'll see you all next week for Girls Chat. Or is it the 17th? I'll let y'all know. I got to check the calendar because I'm having a brain thingy. And Carmen, I'm praying that your memory come on back. Come on back, memory.
Girl, got to do something, girl. I don't know what this is. Old age or something, girl. I don't know. Thank y'all, everybody. Thank y'all to my family and friends. I know y'all got tired of me sharing this every 5 minutes on my Facebook page.
That's all right.
You know, thank y'all. If y'all want to, you know, make it up to me since I had a hard week, I'm trying to get all of my baby daddy's shirts. He has a new t-shirt line. So all of my family and friends that's listening, you can go to